Hello and welcome to my video. So in this video we're going to be doing something pretty exciting, at least pretty exciting for me. We are going to tackle the Iron Butt Association's SaddleSore 1,000 miles in 24 hours. So I'm assuming if you're listening to this video, you probably already know what the IBA is and what SaddleSore is. The IBA, which stands for the Iron Butt Association, hosts a variety of long distance rides that you can do. The one I'm doing tomorrow will be the SaddleSore 1000, and that requires me to do 1,000 miles in 24 hours. The tricky part about getting certified for the IBA is that you need to track all your mileage, and you can't just do that with your odometer. What the IBA requires for you to track your ride and to make sure it gets certified is that you need to keep date and timestamp receipts from every place you stop. So, real big key here is that when you start your trip, you go to the gas station and you get yourself a receipt from that gas station that has the location of where the gas station is. It has the date and the time, and this is your official starting time. Now from the time you get that first receipt is when your 24 hours starts to elapse. And then as you go along your trip, you need to keep collecting receipts from every stop you make, and at the very end you get your final receipt. Once you're at the 1,000 miles, or once you surpass 1,000 miles, you stop at a gas station, purchase something so you can get a receipt, again with the location, time, and date on it. And then you have your trip log. Once you're done with that, you take all these receipts and you fill out an application with the Iron Butt Association and you ship it off to them, and they will have auditors actually go through, use your receipts, and verify your entire trip, and then you can get certified with the process. A bunch of cool things to get certified. You can get things like patches, pins, they have some other merchandise, but the real big kicker is that you get a license plate backer on the back of your bike that says Iron Butt Association, World's Toughest Riders. And your boy needs that clout, so I really want that license plate backer.
How's bragging camp going?
Truthfully, the 1,000 miles in one day is a bucket list trip of mine, and I'm really excited to do it. So this is what we are doing it on. This is my 2016 Yamaha FJ-09. Same frame, same engine as the FZ-09. It's just a bit more set up for touring. They officially label it as a sport tourer. So for the most part, this motorcycle is stock. I would still label it stock, but there are some superficial modifications I made to it. We're going to run through those real quick. We made a luggage rack for it, me and a buddy of mine. It's actually made out of conduit. Attached to those we have a pair of Nelson rig saddlebags. These are more set up for adventure bikes, but I really like them. They're just a typical wet bag setup where you roll them up and then you use these C-cams for them. The real kicker, the real big thing helping me is going to be this seat. So the seats on the FJ-09, they're okay, but I mean they're not 1,000 mile worthy. So I got some legitimate sheepskin, and I tried dyeing it black, but now it looks an awful shade of blue. But underneath the sheepskin is a little bit of foam padding, and it's actually really nice, about as nice as it can be, and hopefully that will help us complete the ride. Besides that, not much else. I just have electronics so I can charge my phone. I have a scent on my helmet, rock forward mount, so I can keep my phone and my GPS and everything square. This bike, like I said, is a 2016. It has 11,500 miles. As far as the trip goes, the bike is sound. The bike's gonna get me there, I know that. The one thing that does worry me though, it's still on the tires that came with the bike. So that is 11,500 mile front tire. And you can see I'm just starting to hit the wear strips, and there is some cupping on here too. Now, I know enough about motorcycle tires to know that I can get another 1,000 miles out of that. So, you know, I'm fairly confident in it, but still a little unnerving for me to do a 1,000 miles trip, which is the biggest trip I've ever done on a motorcycle tire that looks like that. Back tires only got 4,000 miles, so that will be good. Oil change, chain is lubed up, we're all ready to go. Okay, so what concerns do I have? pretty much just one major big one, and that's that I've never ever done a trip like this. I've never went on a multi-day motorcycle trip. I've never driven for more than 600 miles in one day, so this is a real big trip for me. I've actually only ever left the state once, one single day on a motorcycle. This will be the first time I am waking up and trying to crush as many miles as I can. So I'm excited for it, but I'm worried for it too because it's unknown to me. I've never done it. I think I can do it. In fact, I know I can do it. It's just the nerve of unknowing. So that's my main concern. Other things I'm worried about. Also worried about the butt, back, and knees getting sore. But hopefully to help alleviate this is I actually have frame sliders on, god damn it. I have frame sliders on my motorcycle, and you're probably thinking they look very haggard, and they do, but what this is, it's, I don't know the right name for it. My wife always calls it 3M Vet Wrap, but it's a 3M product, and it's like a compression tape, and you just wrap it around things, and it seals in on itself and sticks to itself. So those are plastic frame sliders about 3 inches long, and then I have that 3M vet tape on there for grip for my boots. That allows me to also use them as highway pegs. Now they're not a perfect highway peg, so I can't lock my leg out, but they're definitely a lot better than sitting at that 45-degree angle, which my legs normally are. As far as equipment goes, I'm wearing an Icon variant, which you can probably see. It works great as a helmet, also works fantastic as a kite, because I have this beautiful visor right here, and the thing is very large and heavy. So I think I'll be fine, but I'm sure my neck will be pretty sore at the end of it. You're also probably noticing that, dude, your bike looks haggard. Also true. I just decided that I was doing this trip this week, so I didn't even have this plan long term. I don't want to clean it. It looks bad. I really do want to clean it, but I don't want to clean it when I know I'm about to put 1,000 miles on it. So you can see it looks bad now. Get a good look of it. But let's see how bad it looks after I add another 1,000 miles to it, and we will clean it after that, I promise, because it's kind of embarrassing to be rolling around in this thing. Okay, so I think it's really important for you guys to know where we're going. So here is what the route looks like. Alright, I think that's all I want to explain before the ride, because you're probably watching this and thinking, dude, just get on the bike. And I would be thinking the same thing if I was watching. But I just wanted to do a little before trip explanation. And the next time you see me, it should be way too early in the morning.
Well, we're waiting.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first gas station fill-up and our official starting point. Ignore the time on my motorcycle, it is wrong. It's about 4 a.m. on the mark. Let's get our start time. We want 91 here. We want that good. Oh, where's my enthusiasm? So here's the setup. We have our first fuel receipt. And let's reset the odometer. Okay, so there is our trip for now. That's the trip for the year, and that's the overall trip of the bio. So we're at 0-0. Here's to a long day, fellas. It's not supposed to rain today, but figured might as well protect these receipts as they're so valuable in this trip. That receipt did have valid date and time. And I'm just gonna pencil with this and go back and do a better one later. I need to stop dilly-dallying and get on the road. Alright, here we go. 1,000 miles. Okay, it's gonna get dark really quick here, but I guess I'll do a little bit of talking before I shut the camera down. So yesterday when I was doing the intro, it was all, you know, lighthearted and but not. And this is a lighthearted event. It's nothing like life-ending or too hard, and you can always back out. But there is, or at least yesterday, I did have a ton of anxiety about this entire situation. And I think that's just who I am as a person, a lot of anxiety. Even when it comes to things I like doing, like motorcycle trips. So yesterday I was f***ing stressing out all night. Like, not to the point of panic, but I was definitely stressing. And this morning I got a bunch of sleep last night. I slept well. I woke up in a good mood this morning, which I'm very thankful for. And I don't know, I feel more relaxed about this trip, more excited than I was yesterday, so it should be a relatively good time. At least until I get wicked tired, but right now I'm really happy to be doing this. Again, bucket list item for me, so let's see how far we go. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. Today's name of the game is going to be staying cool. Again, I decided to do this trip within the past week, and this day seemed good because there was no rain, it wasn't heavy wind. I thought the temperature seemed moderate, but for a good old Minnesota boy like me, it's going to be hot today. The high is looking like it's going to be about 92, 93. And you Texas boys are probably laughing at me right now. But I ride full gear, so I got full gloves, full jacket, boots, full helmet. I don't have pants, but for the most part I got full gear. And it's gonna be pretty warm. I think as long as I stay moving, it's fine. I think we'll be good, but that's definitely something I need to pay attention to. Welcome viewers, this is the bustling metropolis of St. Cloud, Minnesota. And by bustling, it's dead quiet at 4 a.m., which I appreciate. So we started on the outskirts of St. Cloud, now we were just cutting through it. I gotta go south to the town of Monticello, and then from there, all interstate, baby. We're talking Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, Dakotas, and I am actually pretty doggone excited to get off this road as soon as possible because there are a lot of deer out here and it is very dark, and I have a mirrored visor, so it's somewhat tinted. You know, probably not great for what I'm doing. Alright, so now it is Operation Freeway. We're getting on the freeway for the first time this trip. So this is what I'll be doing for like, I don't know, 95% of the trip. So I think it's time to buckle in. The good thing is I am the fastest person out here, but I can't speed too much because or really any at all, the auditors will catch that. We are now in the Twin Cities. If you're not familiar, the Twin Cities refers to Minneapolis and St. Paul. St. Paul is capital of Minnesota, but Minneapolis is a much bigger city. Very, again, metropolitan urban area, which I'm not used to riding in. And don't typically prefer, but what we do got going on is we have an insane sunrise. Take a look at that. You can stare at that all day. Fortunately, I'm probably only going to get about 30 minutes of that, but I'm very thankful to have that in my life right now. Check that out. It's awesome. That reminds me of mornings in Kuwait. Beautiful sunrise. Welcome to Wisconsin, our first state crossing of the day. Okay, so I did a real bad job at recording my entrance in this gas station, but we're in Hudson, Wisconsin now, and I need to do my first fuel up. And we don't necessarily need the fuel right now. We have about another 50 miles of range, but I need the documentation from it. So we got a receipt right there. And then hopefully with this fuel stop, it'll give me enough range to get to Tomah, Wisconsin, which is a very important turning point, without stopping anywhere in between to get fuel. Okay, so the next quick trip is exactly 141 miles from here, and I have 150. I know I can do 150 miles in this before hitting the warning lights, so plenty of fuel to get there. It's going to take me about 2 hours. Let's get to it. Alright, so there's been some developments. We're just about to cross the 250 mile marker. Awesome, so we just hit 250. That is probably the fastest I've ever racked up 250 miles under my motorcycle belt. Another development, I'm very low on fuel. You can tell by the blinking. We have 3.8 miles to go, so we'll make it there, but just by the air in my chinny chin chin. Also, on this, I've been on this road, or I've been in Wisconsin for about 2 hours now, and I've seen 10 double digits, and that's not exaggeration, 10 state police. You need to chill, Wisconsin. Wisconsin, also very beautiful. I thought it was going to suck being on the freeway, but they've had a lot of very nice sights. I suspect it's going to get much worse going through southern Minnesota and the Dakotas. I tell you what, I am ready to get off the bike and stretch for a little bit. I'm not feeling too bad, but definitely could use a stretch, go to the bathroom, and enjoy some refreshments. Oh boy. Oh, it feels good to get off.
Hey, phrasing!
Okay, back in the saddle, and time to get out of Toma. It's a quarter of the way there, so I feel like we're doing pretty good. Got my phone charging now. Yes, it's pink. Back off. My lovely wife let me use it.
McCoy Road, then turn left onto East McCoy Road.
Alright, so the next stop is Sioux Falls, which is 337 miles. Now I have 150 miles of range normally before my light starts flashing, so if I play this right, we'll just have to stop for one time before we get to Sioux Falls, and then one time in Sioux Falls.
No thank you and bad math.
However, if I'm hooniganing around, it's really going to reduce my mileage. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Also, a lot of traffic on this interstate coming from Chicago. See a lot of people with Illinois plates, and keep running into them speeding past me. So that's it, that's my break from the interstate. I'm already back on it. At least maybe now we can get on it. Alright, so we're 250 miles in. Let's do a check-in. Do I think I can still finish? Yes. Do I want to still finish? Yes. Am I sore? Really, I'm not too bad right now. I thought I'd be a lot more sore than I am. My butt is a little bit sore, my lower back, and then my neck and upper back from holding my helmet up are probably the things that are the most sore. But when I say they're sore, they're really not that bad. I mean, it just feels like I went out on a ride and came back home. I still feel like I could do, you know, the next 750 miles and still be okay with that. Overall, soreness, doing good, and I think I'll finish. An additional question, am I still having fun? And yes, I have been having a very good time riding. I am still looking forward to the additional miles on this trip. Still got a lot of stamina. So overall, everything's going well. I did check my front tire while I was at the gas station, and it looks good. That front tire is pretty good. I was worried about it a little bit, but I think it would last another 1,000 miles after I'm done with today. That'd be questionable, but point being, we have enough tread to, you know, make it safely back home today. And lastly, a weather update. So this whole morning from like 4 a.m. to 8:15, it stayed between that 68 degrees to 71 degrees mark, which for me is perfect. That's perfect riding weather. It was absolutely gorgeous this morning. However, in the past half hour, the temperature has rose like 8 degrees. My motorcycle's reading 78 degrees right now. I still feel very comfortable, but I'm sure once it hits 3 p.m. and the sun is at its peak, I am going to be sweating my ass off. God damn. Look at the house up there. What a big ball move that is. Imagine getting washed out up there. Woo! No. Oh, Minnesota, how I missed you. So, that means we can check Wisconsin off the list. First leg in Wisconsin, done. Second leg, the Wisconsin little triangle, done. Back in Minnesota, we got to cross the entire southern border of Minnesota. But look at this. Isn't that f***ing beautiful? They call us the land of 10,000 lakes, but we got a lot of river too. Hi, doggy. So at this point, I've passed all the pretty parts on the road. All the nice scenery, I'm pretty sure it's dead and gone. At this point, it's just farm field and the occasional tree. Board, 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 board. One of the nice things about this motorcycle though is I can do this. Oh yeah. I can stand right up. Really stretch the legs. So I have these highway pegs down here, which work pretty nice, but you'll see my leg is still bent. What I found out is if I sit in the passenger seat and then put my feet on the highway pegs, Oh yeah. Check that out. Ah, so good. But I probably look like a complete jack. Alright, we are now in Austin, Minnesota, which, if you are not aware, is home of the world famous Spam Museum.